What's up, YouTube? What I think about Damon Wayans on Club Shay Shay saying that he compared Kanye West basically to a homeless person. I find it offensive. Um, I've known some intelligent homeless people. Everybody has a voice and has a right to be heard. To try to say that someone homeless is just talking out the side of their neck, like they haven't had life experiences, like they haven't had situations. Let me tell you something. Damon Wayans tried to act like he was so dignified and so deep. He ain't. He ain't. You know. He done some comedy movies which are kind of to be time, to be honest with you, low budget BT movies. I mean, he was part of successful franchise, of course, in Living Color. I give him his respect and hit big time, and he's a really good comedian, but he's not that deep. He really ain't that deep. And the thing about Kanye, yes, you can say he has his mental issues, yes, and you can say this and that, but I'll tell you this, like I've said before about Kanye, to me, right message, wrong messenger. Aside from him talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce's children, everything else he said about him, I agree with. Everything he said about Kim Kardashian, how they do business, I agree with. He saw things which were, there's a lot more that goes on. These people ain't what you think they are. And they promote a certain agenda, and it's not the way it is. And see, just the one reason why I give Kanye the benefit of the doubt is one main reason. They act like they don't know Diddy. They were all at his parties, all in the pictures. And Jay Z had 20 years worth of pictures with the man. And it was at Clarence Avon's house for the Billionaires Club. Now all of a sudden you don't know who he is. Now all of a sudden you got amnesia. We really weren't friends like that. Yeah, right. So if you lie about that, chances are you're gonna lie about more. And birds of a feather tend to flock together. And all these people that you just so happen to be associated with, all getting locked up, all got something going on, but you don't know nothing. Yeah, okay. Tell yourself that. Tell yourself that story all day long. But this is the thing right here. Damon Wayans is saying something as a cheap man's out because he has no compassion. He has no heart. He has no soul about stuff. So he finds it to just say it in a way that's kind of like that, as opposed to saying, I can't really speak about him. Can't say if he right or he wrong. He just saying things that he says. But you say he a homeless person just talking in, just saying stuff just to be saying stuff. As if this man hasn't been in the industry himself for 20 plus years and hasn't seen a few things. You cannot possibly call someone crazy or out there when you're in an industry that is notorious for being a cold business. And there are a lot of people whose careers and dreams get torn down for different reasons. And you never know what the promises are, what the exchanges are. You don't know. You just go by what you think they are. You just go by what you think common sense would say. It's not common sense that's always logically being explained. There are other factors involved, you know. But when you have these turkeys like this cat up here trying to be all deep, I mean, and I watched his interview on Club Shay Shay, and I mean, Damon's not that deep. He really ain't. He think he's saying stuff profound. It's not really. He's not really that deep. And I'm not even a Kanye West fan like that. I mean, I think the cat's overrated musically. A couple stuff I like. It's all right produced. He okay. But I will say this: he ain't. He has to talk in code because of how that industry is. And anybody knows that that industry doesn't want you speaking too much because they will act funny on you. That's why you got Clyde Davis now playing like he don't know who Diddy is. See how fake it is? People that made money hand over fist on folks and still making hand over fist stuff, but they don't know how you are. Take it all away. Don't know nothing. Can't hear nothing. You know. So now I think that was very insensitive on Damien's part because if he really thought that was the case, he'd say, I'm not going to say anything about that man. And if I think he needs some help, I'll try to help him. But I say this, there could be some truth in what he's saying because I wasn't there. That's what you're supposed to say, the dignified, the ups, if you want to claim to be so wise and so mature, but you really aren't Damon Wayans. We already know. We know what Orlando Brown said about you and Karen Parsons back on the set of Major Payne. Mm-hmm. And we heard you vent about your ex-wife from Club Shay Shay. You know, talking about how'd you give up that crib. And before people get into say, well, this is I said, no, it came out the man's mouth. Came out the man's not about the Karen Parsons part, that's what Orlando said, but the part he had to give up that crib. That was a gated community where Michael Jordan was. So you know when you give up something like that, you're not fighting it in court. So you kind of know allegedly what have you, you best off not going into details. That's why you need not speak about somebody like Kanye unless you know the totality. You dig what I'm saying? Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shit. If you like, hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm my peace.